Hi there everybody. This is a little video lesson for today since I'm not going to be in class. This lesson is a continuation of what we did yesterday. So we're doing the same kind of thing. We're taking a parabola in what we call standard form, one that's kind of hard to graph, and converting it to vertex form. When it's in this form, we can see the y-intercept. For this one, the y-intercept is 2. You might also know that it opens up, since that's positive, and that the 1, 1, 2, 4 pattern would apply. But without finding the vertex, that makes graphing it a little tough. So we're going to change this to vertex form. And the process for doing that is very similar to what we did yesterday. We'll start out by grouping the first two terms together. We'll leave a little space. Put the plus 2 on the outside. And just like we did yesterday, we'll take this middle term, we'll cut it in half, and you can write this as a decimal or as a fraction. That'd be fine. I'm going to do fractions here, but if you want to write that as 4.5, that's okay. We cut the 9 in half, that gives you 9 halves. And then you square that. Now to square a fraction, you square the top and you square the bottom. So 9 squared is 81, and 2 squared is 4. So we'll have 81/4 there to make it a perfect square. Now to undo that, we're going to have to subtract 81/4 out here. Okay, we want to make that a net, kind of a net of 0. Now we're going to factor this stuff on the inside, and that factors as x plus. Now this is plus because this one's plus right here, and the number that goes here is half of this number. And you may have noticed that pattern in the work you did yesterday. It's a little harder to see or when there are fractions here, but in all those problems you did yesterday, you'll see if you go back and look, the number that goes here in this factored form is half of the middle number. Now in order to combine these, we need a common denominator. 2 is the same as 8/4. We're going to change that 2 to 8/4. And positive 8/4 minus 81/4 is minus 73/4. Now we've got it in vertex form, and we can see, hopefully, you can see that the vertex is at negative 9 halves, negative 73/4. So again, the process is just the same. We're just adding really just some fractions in there that I know you're not as comfortable with. And so I wanted to separate that out from what we did the other day. Let's take a look at one more example. Now, this one's a little different than the previous one because we got a 4 right here. But just like yesterday, you start by factoring out that 4. And you only factor it out from those first two terms. So 4 times x squared is 4x squared. And 4 times minus 3x is minus 12x. I'm going to leave a little space. We're going to put the minus 11 on the outside. Again, just like yesterday. And now we cut this in half, just like we did with the previous problem, and everything you did yesterday as well. We get 3 halves. Then you square that, and that's the number that goes here. Now if you square 3, you get 9, and you square 2, you get 4. Now I'll say this again, if you're more comfortable using decimals, you want to say this is 1.5, and then square 1.5, get 2.25, that's fine. Again, I'm using fractions here, but decimals, as long as you're careful, are perfectly fine to do that. Okay. Now, I added 9/4 in here, but I didn't really add 9/4 because everything inside here is also multiplied by 4. So I really added 4 times 9/4. So what I really added was 4 times 9/4. Now 4 times 9/4, those 4's cancel, is 9. So really I added 9. In order to undo that, I got to subtract 9 out there. Now it's time to factor this stuff. We leave our 4 there. This factors, again, the number that goes here is always half of this middle one. This is a minus, so this is minus, and half of 3 is 3 halves squared. We combine these, we get minus 20. And now we have vertex form, and we can see where the vertex is. And our vertex is at 3 halves, negative 20. Rewatch this video if you need some more examples. Feel free to work with your neighbor on the assignment, and I will see you on Friday.